Okay, so I'm going to show you what to do if you are not going to go outside and measure. You're going to find a toy of some kind that represents a scale model of something. This, for instance, is one of my grandson's trucks. It's seen better days because it's missing the front wheels. And it's a Ford F-150 Raptor, and I'm going to make some measurements to whatever toy you have. You're going to have to decide which measurements you're going to take. So I think it's easier to measure on paper, so I'm just going to make some marks on the paper. The overall length of this truck goes from there to there. I am measuring in centimeters. The overall length is 12.7 centimeters. Okay. I don't know if you can see. Let me move this closer. So I'm trying out a new gadget that I got. Sorry about that. Not sure you can see what I'm writing down. All right, the height. So to measure the height, I'm going to make this the road. That line right there is the road. Truck sitting on the road. Here's how tall it is. So I'm going to measure that length. Again, I think it's easier to measure. It looks like that's 4.1 centimeters. That's the height of the truck, 4.1 centimeters. The width, I'm just going to make a mark to go from wheel to wheel. Let me make a mark down here from the outside of this wheel to the outside of that wheel. That length right there in centimeters is going to be 4.8 centimeters. 4.8 centimeters. The track, I think, is the distance between the center of the two wheels. So I'm going to just measure that. Nope, I can't do that. So I am not going to measure that because that's too hard. Wheelbase is the distance, I believe, from the back wheel to the front wheel. So I can use a mark on that. Here is the center of the back wheel. This would be the center of the front wheel if there were a front wheel. And that length right there is 8 centimeters. So 8 centimeters. Okay. Now, some of these cars do have a scale underneath them. This one does, but because you might not, I'm going to pretend that it doesn't. So I'm going to go online and I'm going to look up for a Ford F-150 Raptor. What is one of the dimensions? And I'm going to pick the length because I have a feeling that one's going to be easy to find. So when I go online, I found out that this overall length on the real one is 220.6 inches. So 12.7 centimeters on my car, this length 12.7 centimeters, on the real one is 220.6 inches. And that's going to allow me to figure out all the other dimensions on this truck. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to try to figure out. Well, if this is the scale model, when I do my proportions and my cross products, I'm going to come up with some numbers that are going to represent supposedly the lengths on the real truck. And then I'm going to see if I can find that information to see how close my scale model matches up to the real thing. So this is going to give me the proportion that I need for all of them. So 12.7 centimeters on the model, so the model numbers on top, is 220.6 inches on the real one. So scale model real one, scale model on top, real one on the bottom, is equal to the real the wheelbase on the scale over the real one. That is my first proportion. I'm going to cross multiply. X is going to be equal to 8 multiplied by 220.6. And then I'm going to divide by 12.7. Divide by 12.7. And that gives me 138.96 inches. That would be the wheelbase on the real one. And I'm going to go see if I can find that information and compare it to it. All right, what about the height? So I'm going to use that same original ratio. 12.7 centimeters on the scale model is equivalent to 220.6 inches on the real one. And it really doesn't matter that these units are mixed because I'm gonna find the answer in inches on the real one. So 4.1 centimeters for the height of the scale model is what on the real one? I'm going to do the cross product again, 220.6 times 4.1, and then divided by 12.7, and that tells me that this x is 71.22 inches. So the height of the real one, maybe it's pretty close to 71 inches. Not sure. I'm going to do some research and find out. And lastly, this is the last measurement that I've made. The width is 4.8 centimeters. So 12.7 centimeters on the scale model is equivalent to 220.6 inches on the real one. So 4.8 centimeters on the scale model is equivalent to what on the real one? Cross multiply one more time, 220.6 times 4.8, and then divided by 12.7, and this is 83.38 inches. So now I'm going to go do a little bit of research, because this is what my scale model says that these lengths should be. Now I'm going to go find some information online and see if that's what it really is. I'll let you finish writing the report. You know what to do. Again, you can do this with any toy that it represents something that exists out in the real world. So have fun with it.